The ear we're looking at belongs to Sam. Sam is a senior engineer, traditionally very well respected, but things have begun to change. He stopped picking up the phone. He's not participating in meetings, and on his last budget, instead of spending $18,000 as specified by his employer, he spent $80,000. He requests an early retirement. And it's not a good solution. He's not financially prepared. He planned to work another 10 years, and his employer now has to find and retrain a replacement, something that can cost up to 1/3 of Sam's salary annually. But it seems like the only option because Sam has a hearing loss. This happens way more often than it should. Hearing loss is found in about 1 in 3 workers over the age of 50. And for workers with a moderate hearing loss, they are 4 times more likely to retire early. And as I look around this room, I see a lot of young people, and I'm sure you're wondering, how does this affect me? But the Bank of Canada recently released a statement, and they said, unless we find a way to keep more baby boomers in the workforce where they can share their expertise instead of as dependent retirees, our standard of living in Canada may be reduced by 20% over the next 20 years. This is a big problem, but the solution might not be so complicated. This fall, I've partnered with an insurance company, and we're going to run a randomized control trial to see if a hearing support program in a workplace can not only help employees, but pay for itself by saving the employer money. Let's go back to Sam. In this workforce, things are different. Everybody gets a hearing test. And it's just a screener, but if they do have a hearing loss, the occupational health nurse says, hey, it's time for you to get a hearing aid. Here are some places you can go. And so Sam doesn't put it off, and he gets one sooner. Also in this workplace, they teach everybody communication strategies, particularly for hearing loss. And so people know how to communicate and work through communication breakdowns that come when you don't hear as well. And finally, this workforce will meet Ontario's accessibility legislation. And that means that when someone can't use the phone, the employer steps in and gets them a captioned telephone or even an amplified telephone. In this workplace, Sam works for 10 more years, and he works with dignity, and he's productive. The cost of hearing screening, communication training, and accessibility devices, $5,000. The cost of having to replace Sam, including the lost productivity, training, and headhunting fees, $50,000. But ultimately, the value of a workforce that is diverse and economically viable is priceless.